Hey, it's that time again. This is the Awesome Town Sound Podcast. I'm your host, Lee Huber. All this month, we've been featuring a selection of artists from Hippified Records, the student-run record label that originates from the College of the Canyons. Their compilation album of Santa Clarita-based musicians comes out this Saturday. It's called Homegrown Volume 2. And this week's featured group will be the loudest, fastest band on that album, I guarantee you. They're called State Waste, and I'm excited for you all to get to know the whole gang. But first, as we do every week, here's a rundown of this weekend's live music events happening in Santa Clarita. Starting off the weekend early, tonight, Wednesday, May 15th, it's Jam Night, hosted by the Kenny Shipman Band. That'll be at the Canyon tonight at 6 p.m. Tomorrow night at the Canyon, the Borderline Country Night continues as it does every week. That'll kick off at 6 p.m. as well. And at Brewery Draconum at 6:30 p.m. SRBQ will take the stage. This Friday, May 17th, Renegades of Rage and In the End. Those are Rage Against the Machine and Linkin Park tribute bands. They'll be at the Canyon at 6 p.m. Over at Wolf Creek, Monkey Bump will be on the patio at 6 p.m. And at Alchemy, One Step Closer will be playing at 8:30 p.m. Saturday, the big Hippified Records album release party with all of the groups you've been hearing this month, including Serena Laurel, Vinyl and Sheen, and State Waste. They'll all be performing. The address is 14805 Sierra Highway. Cover is $5, and music will kick off around 6 p.m. Also Saturday night, Erotic City, the Prince Tribute Group. They'll be at the Canyon at 6 p.m. The Grateful Dudes will be at Vincenzo's in Newhall at 7:30 p.m. Big Coyote will be at the VFW 6885 at 8 p.m. We Are Wasted will be at Pocock Brewing around 9 p.m. And Vinyl Gypsies will be at Alchemy at 9 p.m. And wrapping up the week on Sunday, Pam and Chad Watson will be at the VFW 6885 at 5 p.m. So Petty, the Tom Petty tribute band, will be at the Canyon at 6 p.m. And at Vincenzo's, the Granada Hills Charter High School will be putting on an a cappella showcase of 4 a cappella groups. That should be a fun show. If you want to tell us about any events that you know of this week, please tell us about it on our Facebook page. Visit us at facebook.com/theawesometownsound. In a suburban utopia like Santa Clarita, with all the McMansions and manicured landscaping and sunny days and smiling faces, I knew it would be only a matter of time before I would find counterculture punk rockers like State Waste, working to subvert the status quo and make their mark on the SCV music scene. Like every great punk band, they're loud and proud and not afraid to make their opinions heard. But what elevates State Waste is their ability to fold humor and caustic wit into their lyrics. They may sing about how things suck, but they'll still leave you with a smile on your face. Please note, the rest of this episode contains adult language. Listener discretion is advised. And now, here's my interview with, here. I'll have them introduce themselves.
Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
State Waste. Oh, come on, don't do this.
Like the hands in, like, State Waste, yeah.
Our band is called State Waste. We're a punk rock band that sort of rides the line between punk and metal. We tend to break our songs down into 2 categories. Us yelling about things that are pissing us off, and us making fun of things that are stupid. I'm Skunk, a.k.a. Stephen Elias.
I am Titus Androgynous. I'm on vocals. My real name is Mitch Connor.
I'm Serena, also known as Sardonic the Hedgehog, and I play the bass.
Nice. And the fourth, you said there's...
Oh, yes, Aaron Miller.
Oh, yeah.
Thick Aaron. Once upon a time, I was 18 years old, and I really wanted to start a punk rock band with my best friend, and it was just kind of like, I'm the loudest, so I guess I'll be the singer. And my friend played the bass. And we spent forever trying to find members, and finally we picked up Skunk in like early 2014. So we've worked together in that old band, and then that dissipated, and then we created this new thing because we missed being in a band together, and
yeah.
And then we found this lovely lady, Sardonic the Hedgehog, and then we found Aaron.
Yeah, so Remy and I have been in a band together for a long time.
Long.
Enjoy working together. There was a very long period of inactivity, and we just talked to each other. Isn't it stupid not being in a band? So we decided to form a band.
We write about pretty much Pretty much everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
like,
write about really serious topics to like the ICE agency, like Immigrations and Customs
Yeah.
Enforcement, and we talk about really stupid things like cannibalizing police officers on the beach.
and
like,
punk
And
rock
not being
football
able to
players.
get
and
up
punk
off the
rock football
floor.
players.
Yeah.
Yeah, not being able to get up off the floor because
Because
you're too fat
yeah.
and laying on the ground, and it's
Yeah.
very difficult to get up.
And ADHD.
Yeah, and ADHD. Like, we have topics all across the
Yeah.
board. Influences were really very eclectic, actually.
Yeah.
Like, my main influences are like metal bands like Devin Townsend and Strapping Young Lad
Yeah.
and people like that. I really love Propaganda on the punk side. What are your influences, Remy?
I guess as far as songwriting goes, my two biggest influences would be Amanda Palmer for sure, like especially with like writing songs about mental illness, and as far as like writing politically themed songs, like, you know, hands down Jello Biafra from Dead Kennedys, because it's like kind of the best example of that.
Bands like Black Flag and Leftover Crack and Bad Brains and Rancid and like all those bands, like those are the first bands I ever really listened to where the bass like stuck out and the bass was like could be one of the main focuses. You know, it wasn't like those bands where it's just like the bass is just following the guitar and it's like very much in the background and everyone else is getting the spotlight. So I was like, fuck yeah, like I want to play that, you know? So that inspired me for bass, and I just love playing like fast punk bass lines. And
Well, we have an album coming out
Yeah, we do have an
Yeah.
album coming out.
soon. I have
very
almost,
soon.
we're so close.
It's very close to being finished.
to finish my recording my part.
Yeah, we just have to finish recording vocals. We have some sketches we're going to put in between some of the songs, just like to add comedy to it. That album is going to be called Useless with an exclamation mark.
Our artwork is being done by a good friend of ours who's, you know, her specialty is in caricatures, and she made this really cute caricature of us all in a dumpster.
dumpster.
Like, there's a bunch of instruments
Because
and
we're
stuff. and
trash.
Yeah.
so, yeah, so state is in state of mind, and waste is in waste of time.
Tell us about the song and what's it about. How did that develop?
Millennial anxiety.
That's the perfect way to describe it.
Pretty much it.
This was the first song that me, Remy, and Serena all wrote together. Aaron came into the fray a little bit later. We really like how it's structured, and like there are a couple other songs that we have up on the SoundCloud, Anti-Vaxxers and Bad Music. Those songs are great, but like I wrote almost all of Bad Music and Anti-Vaxxers, and I liked to use this one as the example because we all pitched in to write this one.
Yeah.
It's just about how frustrating it is to wake up and to like look at the news headlines and be like, oh great, things are getting worse again.
It's like eventually everything's gonna be okay, I think, but you have no idea what the fuck is gonna happen next. That's why one of the lines is, sometimes all I want to do is day drink, we made punk rock great again, I think.
It's just about everyday anxiety living in turbulent times.
Yeah.
Oh, and being broke, and
The millennial experience.
Cool.
yeah, and it ends with, should it be called a monologue or a rant?
It was a mono rant.
Mono
It
rant.
ends with it ends with a mono rant, and the last line is me saying, "So take your Big Mac and get the fuck out of my drive-through." Thank you, Steven.
Yeah. Okay. The recording that we have for you to listen to, the last line is different. We just recently changed it, and on the final album, it's going to be, "You're not the generation that has to deal with climate change, so take your Big Mac and get the fuck out of my drive-through."
On this one, I just quote Ice Cube.
Yeah.
And now, the song Just Another Day in the Life by State Waste on the Awesome Town Sound Podcast.
Sometimes all I wanna do is day drink. We made punk rock great again, I think.
Facebook page, facebook.com/statewaste. We have a SoundCloud page, soundcloud.com/statewaste. We have a YouTube page, youtube.com/statewaste. We have a show coming up on May 18th, the Hippified Records album release party. That'll be on Sierra Highway. I don't remember the exact address, but look at Hippified Records Facebook page if you want to find out about that.
Or the info's on our Facebook
or
page
our own,
too.
yeah.
I can't tell if we're headlining or just going
We're
on
headlining.
last.
Let's call it headlining.
Yeah, let's just call it.
That makes
Let's
it
say we're
sound better.
we're headlining.
We're headlining.
Yeah, okay, we're headlining.
Carly
Cool.
Clark confirms we're headlining.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to the Awesome Town Sound Podcast. We are a production of Radio Free Santa Clarita. For more information, visit radiofreesantaclarita.org. You can keep up with all the local music events that we mention here by visiting the Awesome Town Sound Facebook page. And if you enjoyed our show, please tell your friends about it on social media. Tell your friends to subscribe because the bigger this music community gets, the better. We live in an awesome town with awesome artists, awesome bands, and awesome fans. So keep on listening to the Awesome Town Sound Podcast.